It's wonderful to be able to introduce our next speaker, so Dr. Bronwyn Camac, who is Director of Geological Survey South Australia. Many people will know Bronwyn, who's been working for the Department for Energy and Mining, and she has a Bachelor of Applied Science in Geology and a PhD in Engineering Science from the University of Adelaide, and has been the recipient of multiple awards. Over the last 30 years, Bronwyn has worked in a range of operational jobs in the oil and gas sector, including well site and operations geology, exploration and development across both conventional and unconventional oil and gas plays. She has now turned her attention to the mineral sector and has been working within the state government since early 2022. So Bronwyn has actually been a member of the Petroleum Exploration Society of Australia for 25 years and has served as a federal president and at state branch levels over many years, and she has also been active in the Women in Resources South Australian Committee and was a finalist in the Exceptional Women in Resources Award in 2015. So I know Bronwyn's got an excellent presentation today, so let's join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Right, well, thank you so much, Anna, and for Rebecca for that warm welcome to the stage. I'd also want to welcome you all to this jam-packed day showcasing project delivery from the Geological Survey over the last year. But first, I'd like to explain in a little bit more detail. I know Rebecca's gone through the restructure, but just where the GSSA fits within that, I think that's really important for you all to understand. And hopefully you can see that it will only strengthen and deepen the service to the exploration industry and people of South Australia. Okay, so I've just prepared this slide, and really just as a graphic of what Rebecca has just gone through with you. This is a functional structure which demands an agile workforce working across the business, making full use of all of our skills and working together. From now on, Ben Zammit is heading up the Regulation and Compliance Division, and Nick Panagopoulos will support the business, leading the Corporate and Commercial Division. And as you can see, the Geological Survey now sits in the new Strategic Policy and Delivery Division within DEM, led by Rebecca Knights. The South Australian Government highly values the work and delivery of key projects by the GSSA and has positioned us so that we can continue to support the regulators as well as influence and help drive strategic outcomes for South Australia. So now we're in one team. The GSSA sits right in the intersection between the resources industry, research and universities, and other SA and federal government agencies. We are the only group in the state that does this, and it's something that we at the GSSA feel very passionate and very honoured to be part of. Our core business is delivering high quality, pre-competitive data, geological insights, and information to the exploration industry. You can see from the word cloud the number of functions and deliverables we are responsible for, and that will not change. The change, however, is one of strengthening the GSSA by welcoming our geoscience colleagues from the Energy Resources Division into the GSSA for the very first time in South Australia. I thought I'd put this up so that you can see who's who in the zoo. We'd like to, this is the new leadership team, and speak about why we are formed in this way. Firstly, note that we have a reasonably diverse leadership team represented by about 50-50 female to male, and we represent about 5 countries of origin within our team. The only thing that we're not diverse in but completely focused on is geoscience. The team is organised as a 50% geoscience team and a 50% digital data and delivery team. This builds on our current leadership and demonstrates our commitment to the strategic direction in data information delivery into the future. Data and information need to be human and machine readable. With AI and ML disruptive technologies here today and many exploration and new tech companies starting up, it's even more imperative that the state's data resource can be effectively utilised now and into the future. Digitising legacy data and the QA/QC of data acquired by the survey and submitted by industry is an ongoing and highly critical step. We now have 2 teams focused on data compliance across both minerals and energy sectors, and our 3rd team has a GIS focus. and this will continue assisting across all projects to deliver these high-quality data sets to SA explorers. This respected and trusted leadership team has over 80 years' experience and is led by Christy Gerard, who will be speaking after me, with herself with nearly 30 years' experience in this field. Now across to the geoscience part of the survey, we now have 3 functional groups led by some of our most respected and esteemed researchers in their fields. And they also lead equally talented teams. With the energy geoscientists joining us, we have strengthened our understanding in sedimentary systems and taking advantage of techniques and knowledge from the oil and gas industry into the minerals industry and vice versa. This group is now led by Eleanor Alexander, which many of you would know from leading the Energy Resources Division for the last 24 years. The experience she brings to the group is outstanding, and we at the survey are very excited to be able to work together to deliver more in the future. Whilst our business services and communications teams no longer sit within the GSSA, the department recognises that we need these embedded functions in our group. So a special shout out to Kerry Stanley, Louise Bader and Rachel Froud, who deliver again and again supporting the team at our promotional events such as today, worked very hard, conferences and high quality report books and articles to deliver products to you all. And of course we can't continue without mentioning our jewel in the crown, which of course is our globally acclaimed drill core library at Tonsy, ably led by David Groom. The service that his team offers is second to none, and we are full of appreciation for what his group and his facility offers our industry, our researchers, and we are very happy that this service remains within the survey. Now, onto our projects. We've been very busy this year. This is a bit of an update slide on where we're at with all of our projects that we're delivering. And you can see from here that we have delivered a number of projects this year to completion. As Rebecca mentioned before, we had the Gawler Phase 2 project, which we had a workshop yesterday to go through all the insights with industry. That is now complete. We have the National Drilling Initiative, the NDI, Delamerian Pre-Competitive Data Acquisition, which was completed this year. And we've also completed a study alongside our colleagues at the CSIRO on the Stewart Shelf Sedimentary Copper Project. And lately, in the last 3 months, we've had an Otway Basin prospectivity for natural gas delivered by Dr. Chris Cubitt, and we'll talk about that a bit later. And also we are making huge headways into bringing our downhole geochemistry into our data sets in a digital way, so you can download those. Other projects that are still underway and about halfway through, we have our Critical Minerals SA project, SA Discovery Mapping project, and our digital strategy, which Christy will run through with you later. And just so that you know, we've actually been conducting an economic review into the value of pre-competitive geoscience data to the state. That is nearly complete. I was hoping it would be ready to release to you today, but we're not quite there, but please keep your eye on that going forward. Let's just quickly review and introduce some of these projects and that you'll hear more about today in the program. So hopefully this is just to wet the whistle and just keep you interested and keep you here all day to listen to these amazing presentations. So as I said yesterday, the GP2 team presented an all-day workshop to our exploration community on the geoscience insights resulting from this project. Back in 2020, the Explore SA Gawler Challenge initiative resulted in machine learning and artificial intelligence approaches to advance the field of exploration and increase the number of potential new mineral systems in the state. However, it identified the need for more robust AI ML ready pre-competitive and legacy data to calibrate these models. The GP2 project was then designed to deliver an opportunity to work at regional mineral system scales and advance new frontiers within the highly prospective Gawler Craton. It acquired and generated multiple high-quality open access geoscience data and new insights. This project was the largest and most complex project the GSSA had undertaken due to the remoteness of the region, harsh climate, no road access, technological limitations, and the number of survey sites completed across the multiple survey types. New data acquisition, expanding the digital footprint and filling in the gaps is now complete. I would like to thank very much Zia Durrani for steering this project through to its completion, and also to Stefan Thiel, who will be reviewing the insights gained from this project later in today's program. Okay, NDI and a deep crustal seismic survey taken this year. So the NDI Delamerian drilling program, in collaboration with Camac CRC, was completed earlier this year in the Kwangdong Vale and Alawoona regions of the Murray Basin. This project provided valuable knowledge on the Delamerian origin and its mineral potential in this area for the first time. Whilst drilling was completed in August last year, the data acquisition and geological work continued well into this year. Almost 7 kilometres of handheld XRF and MAG-SUS readings, lithological and stratigraphic logging, core and chip tray photography was acquired. The data collected demonstrated the presence of rock types favourable for copper, lead, zinc, silver, uranium, and the potential for heavy mineral sands. When drilling was complete, we were able to release the area for application via DEM's exploration release area process, with 8 companies to vie for exploration tenure over this area. And I think it's really important to note that there was no interest in this area before this study, and so we're very, very proud to be part of a project that was stimulated exploration activity in the Murray Basin. So GA acquired also, you can see on the map here, up here on the right, about 1,200 kilometres of deep crustal seismic data in 2022, with lines crossing the margin of the Gawler Craton and the Curnamona Province, the Flinders Ranges and the Murray Basin. Now, the interpretation of that line is still ongoing, but please stay tuned, because when we have some insights for that, I'm sure you'll be very interested in what that throws up. Moving on to our sedimentary copper project. The sedimentary copper mineral systems of the Stuart Shelf, in collaboration with CSIRO, is in its wrap-up phase, with a number of key releases coming out during this year. These included a series of reports on the detailed logging of key stratigraphic holes. A number of publications came out relating to collaborative work in the region, such as dating of the Stuart Shelf units with the University of Adelaide. Additional papers on the sedimentology and the chemostratigraphy of the Stuart Shelf was led by the CSIRO, are currently in preparation. These will include cross-sections and modelling of key surfaces, and Giovanni is here from the CSIRO to talk to us later about this project and the 3D modelling that they have undertaken. And a special shout out to Dr. Camac for leading that project and working also with Dr. Mitchell Bockman on delivering a lot of that project during COVID times. It was very difficult for them. So, okay, sorry. Here we go, next one. Natural gas. Okay, this is the new topic for our Discovery Day. As we said, we've incorporated now energy geoscience into the Geological Survey. It's important that we talk about this commodity, as it's critical to the transition to decarbonisation. And finding more gas in South Australia will help Australia and other countries to meet their net zero targets. Only last month, the team from the Energy Resources Division undertook a 3-month project and delivered that project to determine the prospectivity of the Otway Basin down in the southeast. For the first time, undrilled parts of the onshore Otway Basin are modelled to contain areas of mature source kitchens, leading to exciting opportunities to explore for gas in the southeast. You'll hear more about this exciting project later today from Chris Kubert. And also, we have Carmen Grasso here today, who will also be updating you on his work on the oil prospectivity of the Kurikiana sandstone in the Cooper Basin. So this geochemistry deliverable that we did this year is part of our digital strategy. And back in February, geochemistry layers were added to SARIC, offering seamless access to government and open file mineral company drilling geochemistry. I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but if you haven't, jump on and see this data set, it's amazing. The project comprised data cleansing, standardising units, removing of string values, and wide file format delivery for a suite of commodities. The data set includes drill hole location, analysis method, and original assay. Now here's a graph of what's been going on in the survey in the last couple of years. So this shows a phenomenal increase in legacy geochemical data into our database, and Liliana Stone will be taking you through the value of legacy data later in the day. This is just one example of how the digital strategy in the survey is working. It's adding value through delivery of pre-competitive data to industry researchers, informing government strategy, and assisting our regulators with technical evidential advice backed by high-quality data sets. Now, our critical minerals essay project, and as I said before, this one's about halfway through, so keep your eye on this as we move forward into this next year. So the Critical Minerals Project is kicking goals, with work progressing well across each of the pillars. This project, later this morning, Carmen Krupf will update you on the GSSA's Critical Mineral Project, with Diana Zivak speaking on the rare earth element potential in South Australia. And we also have Jared Lloyd from the University of Adelaide, our collaborative partner on the project, to run you through his work on the lithium potential of South Australia. We're not known for lithium in South Australia, but we thought, well, we should look for it and see whether we've got any. And also he's going to be going through his advances in geochronology. We also have Holly Cook from the University of Adelaide and University of Queensland My Watch team and BHP Innovation, presenting her work on characterisation of critical minerals in the prominent hill mine tailings. So I hope you'll all stay and watch that. I'm sure it'll be a very exciting talk. Last year, Meg Williams gave you an update on the explanatory notes component of the South Australian Discovery Mapping Project. Since then, this project has advanced significantly, compiling data and digital map layers to create a foundation for digital mapping and expanding seamless geology across the state. This project is about halfway to completion and will completely reshape how geoscience data and mapping information will significantly improve the amount and quality for our explorers. So please check out Mark Pauly's talk after lunch, where he will give you a complete update of this project. And of course, we have our drill core library, which we talked about before. And I just thought I'd just throw up a few statistics there to show you how active they are out there. So we have had this year 150 inspections with nearly 200,000 metres of core and cuttings viewed. We've had over 17,000 trays laid out and over 2,000 samples taken for analytical work. And about 30 events. It's a very popular place to hold events, and we had our GP2 workshop out there yesterday. It's an absolutely amazing place to hold an event where you can bring in your core and have core viewings at the same time. And I've just sort of dumped a whole bunch of bubbles there to show you the different types of groups that come through the core library. It's not just the survey, it's not just researchers, it is all of those things, but we also have the energy and oil and gas industry, we have a lot of educators, and we have a lot of people that have general interest in what we're doing as well come out and host events there, or just do viewings. So what's next? What's going to go on next year and into the following year after that? So as I mentioned before, keep an eye out for that pre-competitive data economic review for South Australia. Hopefully we can release that in the new year. Obviously, still work to be done on the critical minerals and the South Australian Discovery Mapping Project. We have ongoing work in the Cooper Gas Project. We need to find more gas. The geochronology database, we need to do some work on that and make sure that that becomes available to industry. And we have an NDI, a National Drilling Initiative Round 2, coming forward, and you'll hear more about that from Tom later in the day. Obviously the GSSA digital strategy, which we've talked about, and Digital to the Core project, that is an ongoing project, and we're going to keep diving and driving value out of that strategy. And then there's a couple of other things that we've been talking about but haven't quite nailed yet, but we're hoping to be able to announce soon, and that is we'd really like to do a project by digitalising all of the core in the core library. We think it's an amazing physical asset, but we want it to make it an amazing virtual asset as well that can be accessed 24/7 from across the globe. And of course, more geophysics. You know, we're wanting to keep filling those gaps in the geophysical data set across SA. So that's a wrap from me, and I welcome you all to Discovery Day. We have an interesting program planned, I hope you've heard that, and I hope you enjoy, and please come and chat to any one of us during the day if you want to know more.